So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to take apart the blower motor. Okay, so first, very important thing I want to tell you, this motor is a very variable speed motor. You cut this. Again, if you cut this, remember you have to find a way to tie these somewhere. You don't want them to be loose. Okay, if you have to leave them loose, I think it's not a good idea, but make sure they don't go into the wheel. There's one screw here, basically it's for the ground, right? Now I usually remove these harnesses. See, these harnesses, there are two. You need to remove the first one inside because it has a 2-finger button push, whatever, like this, right? And then you can put your finger on the bottom because this one has a hook, but you cannot push it on the side. So this one goes like that. You have to remove this one first so it's out of your way. Then you can press this guy and take it out. Okay, so I'm gonna remove these for a minute. Now, what I was trying to say about this motor is if you know what is wrong with the thing, and if you know this has a problem, it will be much easier for you to remove only this without removing the whole motor. It's a lot of headache if you know how to test it. Now, this one come off is very easy, and the problem is most it comes off very easy. Then there's a hook up in here, there's a harness. Sorry, there's a harness. You can remove it as you see it, and you should be good. Now, don't lose the screws. So usually, what you look for, you look here if there's something popped. So it looks good. Again, it's not always the best way, but you need to check it. It's very complicated checking this, honestly. I have the tools, but I don't have time to show you how. It's a lot of work. But the idea is, it's a little bit complicated. Don't do it on your own. Hire someone who's professional because it's not a joke. They're programming for certain motors. Again, you cannot, I would say 95% of manufacturers don't sell you this separately. But people do it on Amazon, on Bonanza, whatever you call that places, Poshmark, eBay. They can sell this separately. If you are lucky to find it and you know it's wrong, it's much easier. You don't have to remove the motor because removing the motor is a lot of work. I will show you in a minute, okay? So remember, this is called the control modulator. Basically, it modulates and it controls the motor. It modulates the speed, okay? So now we're going to remove the motor. Basically, same thing like any other motors. They have a shaft. And let me put my drill here before it falls down. So there is a shaft in here. Now, again, never hit it with the hammer. Okay, I see people, they go with a 30-pound hammer and they go on it and they ruin it. First of all, you have to use a service wrench. Or if you have English or adjustable wrench, because this screw on the blower is square, so you need something like this. See, it's a square. And then if you don't have this, that we technicians have it all the time, if you don't have this, what you can do is use I'm trying to find an adjustable English wrench, see, like this, if you don't have it, and then you can hold it. Again, it's a square screw. The tip of it is square. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna loosen it. Basically, you're gonna go counterclockwise, right? It should be hard. It could be hard sometimes. See, I removed it. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it just slides out. See, this one doesn't. But most cases, all what you need is just a small spin, so it's gonna release itself. And how you do this? I usually remove this whole screw, right? And I drop some oil on it from inside, right? Sometimes, believe it or not, just a small kick, it will release it. Look, sometimes not. So again, and while you're doing this, go back and forth like this. See, I'm coming back. Can you see me? Sorry, if you can see me. So I'm trying to move the shaft. Same time, I'm trying to push the squirrel cage wheel back and forth, so hopefully it's gonna slide. See, it is moving, so the more you do it, it's gonna be a little bit smoother, right? Looks like it'll be a tough one, but I will try. Don't give up, you know. Again, never use a hammer. Never, never. I'm trying to bring it all the way back here so can release. See, it's going back and forth. See, it's always to the end, all the way to the end. See, I pushed it all the way to the end. Right now, we're gonna go backward. Again, it takes time. Look, I mean, unfortunately, it's not an easy one. Usually, it's much easier. If you watch my other videos, it's much easier. So I'm trying to push it now the other way. See, I have to let it. Okay, you can see. Okay, good. So you're gonna go. Now I'm gonna try to push it backwards. See, now I'm trying to push the wheel inside. See, I cannot spin it all the way because it looks like someone who put this, sometimes they don't put it on the flat shaft of the flat side of the shaft. Sometimes they put it on the edge and create kind of a groove or something. And that's how they ruin the whole shaft. I will show you after I'm done what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult one. So what I'm gonna do after I push it all the way in, what I'm gonna do is, see, I'm gonna clean it. Again, no hammer, please. Never, never, never. The only time you use hammer if the shaft stuck halfway and is not moving, you can put a chisel and hit it so you're not damaging the edge, because you can put the chisel in the middle always, not on the corner. And that, but trust me, 99% of cases, very, very, very rarely, I have to use the hammer. So I'm gonna just sand it a little bit, right? If you are not lucky and it's hard like that, you will scan it. But trust me, a lot of times, if you watch my other videos, it's just a small spin with oil is out. But this one, unfortunately, it's a tough one. As I was telling you, somebody caused some damage for the... So now we're going to try one more time. Just a drop of oil. Right? Oh, sorry. And I said sorry to myself. Okay, so see, it's gonna be a little bit smoother when you sand it. You know. Let's put some more oil. And then no, that's gonna be a difficult one. Wow, looks like. So what I'm gonna do in this case, I have another trick. I will show you how to do it when it's really tough. So basically, I'm gonna remove the screws, right? And I will put this upside down. So I will let the weight of the motor push it downward, and then I will go from the top and I will be twisting the shaft, and the weight will suck it down. Okay, I'll show you, it'll push it down. Give me a minute. So here, excuse the mess, guys. I apologize, it's a horrible place here. So as you see, the motor is just hanging in the air, and the weight of it will help me, because while it's like that, I will keep twisting this, and it will push itself down. If it's really hard, I will let it go as much as I can, even if it's flat with this. But I will use a chisel, and I put it in the middle. Be careful, do not damage the edges. It's gonna stuck forever. So I couldn't bring the camera with me. As I told you, I'm a beginner. Excuse the mistakes. So as I was showing you, I wish that you can see it. You're gonna see now, because the weight of the blower is helping it to go only downward. And at some point it will start coming out. Yeah, this one is one of the toughest I have done. See, I can feel it start going downward. You can put some more oil, but you got the idea. Yeah, put oil as much as you can. Now I need to get a smaller. Let me see if. So I got a smaller wrench, which is basically, my battery is gonna die. Shoot. So it's gonna hold better, and anyway, I will skip that and show you later, because it could take you so long. Now, as you see, I apologize earlier. So as you see, I was able to bring it down to here. Now I cannot reach it. In this case, I can use a chisel. So when you use a chisel, try to be in the middle here, okay? In the middle as much as you can, so you don't have cause any damages to the edges of the shaft. Now, as you see, I'm about to hit it a couple times, and I think it's gonna just fall off. It's almost there, but you got the idea. Now make sure in the bottom is not empty. I have some stuff there, like cardboard, so the motor is not going to be damaged. If it's empty barrel, you might have to put a couple cardboard boxes so it doesn't impact the motor, okay? It's almost going down. This one was really tough. I don't even have to hit very hard. Okay, so that's how you remove it, right? And let me tell you something about the... man, this one was really tough. I have moved so many of these. I have replaced so many of these. I rarely have a tough one like this. So as far as the bracket, it's easy. You know, just make sure you try to mark where it was. The most important thing is how far it was from the edge. Usually it's by the window, so I don't have to mark it, because it's by the window, so by the opening in here, right? Oh, come on, please. Oh, excuse me. So basically, all what you care about is this. If you want to also make sure, I mean, it only can go one way. But the only thing the most important thing you have to be worried about is the hoses, okay? If the outlet of the furnace is here, the panel, and you have to make sure that the harnesses are going this way. Otherwise, if they're in the back, it will be hard to put them back. So try to remember, if you want to mark here, like with the marker, you put like a sign, so you know exactly how it goes next time. That would be a good idea, you know? Like, for example, I can mark it here, so I know it's going to be here next time when I do it. Okay, in this case, you don't have to worry about putting it upside down. And basically, you just hold it like that, and it comes off. Okay, so this is the bracket. So let me show you quickly how can we remove the wheel. If you want to remove the wheel also I show you how to remove it, why we're doing this. So basically the wheel, removing the wheel is very easy. There's a screw in here and 2 screws in here. So basically when you remove these screws, that baffle, that cover will come off, and then you can take the wheel off. Okay, now the wheel, it's not very sophisticated. It only can go one way, right? Because if you put it the other way, it's going to be hard to mount it anyway, right? Because remember, the mounting is here. If you have it the other way, there's no way you can put your hand there. So this comes off like that, okay? Ah, shoot. So this wheel, basically, a lot of time you hear whistling. These louvers, they start getting loose. This is good though. Sometimes this whole thing can come off because it's compressed, like a mechanical compression that can make noise. Sometimes this plate become loose. Okay, so if you're buying a new wheel, it's okay if it's like a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch bigger, but you can't go too big, you know. It depends on your housing. So if you I was looking for a tape measure. I have 1,000 of them, but if I need them now, I cannot find them. So if you measure it from here, if it's like an inch bigger, no, sorry, a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch, you can get away with it. And same thing with the height. If this is like, let's say 13, if it's 13 1/4, you can get. It depends how much you have a play in the housing. I will let you know what I mean. Okay, 1 second. So the best way to know which direction you go, you see where the screws are, the mounting. So you have to go the opposite. So this connection mounting thing has to be this way, otherwise you cannot reach it. So the motor comes here, right? And then we're gonna put the panel. As I told you, it's a flat piece, and so basically this piece, you put it this way. You put 2 screws. Don't tighten it all the way yet. Leave them a little bit loose. Just hang them. Go halfway and wait, because you need that that space, right? And then it will go in, right? I'm gonna have to tighten it a little bit more. Okay, so I will give it a kick, just a little bit, so it doesn't go halfway. Okay. Now I'm gonna put only 1 screw, because the other one, basically, the other screw here is holding the ground of the motor. So I'm not gonna put it yet. I'm gonna just put 1 here, and I will show you how you put the motor back. Now when you have this in already, you can tighten the other ones, and try to match this perfectly in the hole before you tighten the screw. So I'll make sure it's already perfect in the hole, because remember, I'm gonna put this back when the motor is there. So now everything is ready for the motor to come in. Now let me see if we are lucky enough to put it in, because again, actually what I'm gonna do, since it's hard for me, it was hard to get it out, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give it another sand. I'm gonna sand a little bit, and this time I'm gonna use a better sandpaper, because you know it's gonna be hard to put it back, right? You sand it a little bit. I know, guys, you might have a better sander than mine. I can also I have a sander on the drill, but I hope it's gonna make the job. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put back the bracket. Remember, I already marked it, right? See, I marked already, so it's gonna be almost perfect where it was, right? And then when you mark it, you get your drill, and make sure, actually I can hold it like this, actually it doesn't matter, as long as you're as close as possible where you want it to be, like this, right? Because here, so that's good. Now we have to find our washers or bushings. I'm missing one of these bushings. It fell in a garbage can. It's really hard to find it. But anyway, I will, as long as you get the idea, you know, it shouldn't be really too complicated. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get it in. See, I'm gonna try to use a flat shaft, flat part of the shaft, as much as possible to the where the mounting is, right? So I'm gonna look at the hole of the mounting. I see it. So I'm gonna let the shaft face it. So that's gonna make it more easier if there's any groove, any problem. So, oh my God. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and tighten it. Again, I'm gonna tighten it as close as possible. You know, I'm missing a bushing, but I'm not really in the real world, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna mount it as much as I can with 2 screws. I wouldn't go crazy on it. When you get to the end, don't use a powerful drill. You might strip it. So you go to the end and then you hand tight, okay? Now I'm missing a bushing here. You know what I mean. Now the most important thing I want to teach you, I want you to know, is that balancing the wheel in a way that it will not hit the housing. This is the most the hardest part, is to make sure. See, now the wheel is biting on the shaft. You have to release it somehow as much as you can. It's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna have to move it a little bit so I can push it backward. If you know what I mean. So I'm gonna balance it. I will show you what I'm talking about. It's not perfect, but I want you to get to understand the biggest problem people have is making sure the wheel, again, is not perfect. I'm missing a bushing, but the idea is you have to make sure the wheel is in the middle. So the same space you see here has to be equal to here. Not perfectly, but as much as you can. Otherwise, it's going to hit the housing, okay? So that's all for now. And next step is going to be the heat exchangers. Thanks for your time.